Hey guys, I'm MagNunez and welcome back to another video. So by the title of this video, you guys already know that I'm going to be talking about my miscarriage. But before we start, I'd like to say if you're sensitive to this topic, don't watch the video. Alright, so I'm going to get started. If you don't know, I'm currently pregnant and this is March 2020 and my miscarriage happened April of 2019. So it all started in February. That's when I got pregnant, I believe. Yeah, it was February. Okay, so I got pregnant in February and I found out on March. I don't remember the exact day. We were really happy. We were actually trying for that pregnancy. I only went to my first appointment where they just like pretty much just set you up and talk about the future of your appointments and stuff like that. I had my first ultrasound scheduled. I never got to get an ultrasound except for in the hospital, but that's for later. Fast forward to April. I was fine. There was nothing, like no bad symptoms other than the nausea, of course, but that's just normal during pregnancy. I didn't suspect a thing. I was about 7 or 8 weeks. I'm not sure. They told me I should have turned 8 weeks when I had the miscarriage, but they did an ultrasound at the hospital and they said the baby measured 7 weeks, almost 8 weeks, but it was like 7 weeks and a couple days. So let me start off by telling you guys how it all started. So it was a Friday, and so this happened during the Easter weekend. Started on Friday. So on Friday I went to the bathroom at night and I wiped a little bit of brown. I didn't think a thing about it because it's supposed to be normal during the first weeks of pregnancy, so it was normal to me, even though I didn't experience none of that during my first pregnancy. But the doctors tell you you might experience that and that it's normal, so I didn't think a thing about it. On Saturday I woke up and I went to the bathroom and I saw that there was like tiny little pieces of something in the toilet, and they were just like really small, like almost dust. They were so small, it seemed kind of like just little crumbles or something, and I started to worry about it. And I also wiped brown again. As the day went on, I went to the bathroom. I just kept experiencing the same thing, and at night I just couldn't stay calm about it, and I decided to call my doctor. And it was night, so I called and then she asked me what was going on, and I told her, and she said, oh, that sounds normal, just keep an eye on it. If it gets brighter, if it gets red, please call me back, but it sounds like it's normal. So I said, okay, she's a doctor, what do I know? So I went back to bed and I went to sleep. On Sunday, it was Easter, we were supposed to go hide eggs for Sebastian, but we didn't, because when I woke up I went to the bathroom and I wiped and it was still brown, but it was more, and it was starting to get like red, but it wasn't red. It was just in the middle of brown and red. Sorry guys, I just get out of breath so easily right now. So I got really worried and I told Freddie about it, and so we went to the hospital. They did a whole bunch of labs. They took a urine sample and they did ultrasounds. We got to see the baby, and this is a hard part, and it's like a live image in my head. During the ultrasound, we were able to see the heartbeat, and it was beating. And I still see it. It's been almost a year and I can still see it. It's hard. So we saw the baby, we saw the heartbeat, and I was so happy because I saw the heartbeat. And we didn't get a picture, and that sucks because I don't have a picture of, or like an ultrasound of that pregnancy, but it's still in my head. So they came back with the results. The blood work and the urine, everything looked normal. My hormone levels were off the roof. They were great. They said they didn't know why this was happening. It might just be normal, but we don't know. Just keep an eye on it. And they let me go home. I got home at night, probably like 7 or 8, and we went to bed. The next morning, which was Monday, Freddie had already left to work. I woke up and I went to the bathroom, and this time I wiped bright red. Oh my goodness. I called the doctor's office and I told them about it. They told me they'd schedule me an appointment for within an hour. So I started to get ready to go to the appointment to go get checked out. And then they called me back and they said, you know what, we think it's best that you go to the ER. So I called Freddie and I told him about it, and he came home from work. We went to the hospital. They did labs, urine, and ultrasound. When they took me in to get the ultrasound, we saw the baby. There was no heartbeat. And to me, it was just like I just was in disbelief, because the day before the heart was so strong, it was beating, and then to go back in and to see that it was no longer beating in less than 24 hours, it was just, I just couldn't believe it. So the ultrasound technician just stayed quiet and she didn't tell me anything, and of course I know they are not allowed to tell you anything. They took me back to the hospital room, and then they come in and tell me, well, before they went in I already knew, and I was already crying. They came in and told me that I was going through a miscarriage, and I just started crying more. Like 2 hours later, I was able to come back home. They had told me, they asked me if I wanted to take a pill to go through it faster, and I said no, because I wanted to do this all natural. And I did do it all natural. I came home and I started feeling a lot of cramps, like really strong cramps. I forgot to mention that when I woke up that day, I started feeling cramps, but when I got home from the hospital, they were stronger, and that's because my body was getting rid of the baby. I went to the bathroom and I felt something coming out, and it wasn't the baby yet. It was like part of the, I think it was part of the placenta or something. I'm not sure what it was, but I think it was part of the placenta. And I thought it was a baby, and I honestly just stuck my hand in the toilet and took it out, trying to look for the baby, but it wasn't the baby. So I went back to bed because I was in bed that whole day. And then later when I went to the bathroom again, I felt something coming out again. And this time it was the placenta, but it was like there was something inside. There was like a little, it was kind of round, it was like a little ball. So I started to tear the placenta apart, and inside I saw the baby in the amniotic fluid bag. I took it out of the amniotic fluid bag. I don't know what the name for it is, but it's just the bag where the fluid is in. And I have pictures, but I'm not gonna insert them. It's just something I'd like to keep for myself. Took the baby out, and I could see that there was, the eyes were already there, the mouth, the little arms and the little legs. The tail was really small. It was pretty much almost gone, and I touched its little head, and the little head went like a little bit back, and I could see that the jaw was already forming because the mouth opened. And we put the baby in a little box, and that was that. And that was April 22nd of 2019. And for a week I was in my room the whole entire day, the whole entire week. I couldn't get over it. I randomly would cry, and thankfully I had my mom watching my son. After a week I just had to get up of bed and out of my room, because if I stayed in my room I would have probably gone into depression or something. I don't know what would have happened, because in the room I just kept on thinking about it over and over. I mean, after I left the room I still thought about it, but I was being distracted, so I wasn't thinking about it as much. And that is my miscarriage story. I'd like to say that even if you get pregnant after a miscarriage, at least in my opinion, I don't think I'll ever get over it, but I've learned to move on. You can't control everything in life, and I do believe that things happen for a reason. And if you've gone through this, you know that it is really hard to go through this. especially if it was a planned pregnancy, and which this one was. And overall, it's just hard. If you'd like to share your story with me, go ahead and go on my Instagram, send me a direct message, and I'll talk to you about it. And if you're currently going through this, just try to get help. If you need help, try to get help. Don't keep everything to yourself. Find a support system that will be there for you. If unfortunately you don't have anybody, I'm here to listen to your story, and I'll be happy to listen and talk to you. So that's it for this video, guys. Leave me your comments down below, leave me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next one.